Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and welcome to another session of Not Perfect Zen. I hope you're doing very well. I'm doing great, and I'm happy to be here. I am continuing my series on the 102 Tangles of Zentangle. If you're new to this, that's the name of the poster that introduced me to Zentangle. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about the wobble. So this is the tag that I use, and the patterns we're going to learn today are Opus, Mysteria, and Verdigogh. Okay? I think you're going to enjoy this one. The tools that I'll be using are a Zentangle 3.5 inch tile, a Micron 01 pen, and Zentangle graphite pencil, and a tortillon, also known as a blending tool. And I keep this in there to keep the point pushed out. And I have this on the end just to tell me, remind myself that this is a nice new pen. And I don't think I got my camera focus, so hang on just a second. Okay, just to make sure it stays focused. All right, we're gonna start with gratitude. I'm very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful that you're watching this series, and I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been a great learning experience, and I had just really enjoyed doing these classic patterns and being reminded of them. All right, I'm using, starting with my 4 corner dots, and then I'm going to connect these. Does not have to be a straight line. Okay, can be wobbly. All right, and now I'm going to switch to my Micron 01. And the first one I'm going to do, what I'm going to show you, is Opus. And I will admit that I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Opus. When I get it right, I love it. But for some reason, I struggle with it. I'm going to keep this here as a reminder that it's okay and it's easy. So we're going to start by coming around and just making this curve with kind of a fescue on the end, okay? And then I'm going to come around the other side and do the same thing. And I'm not making it a tight spiral. I'm leaving it kind of open. And then I'm just going to keep doing the same thing across here. And just alternating the sides. And we're going to be putting an aura around here, so I'm leaving enough room to put that in there. And I kind of think of this as almost an underwater scene before we're done with this, and you'll see. And so it's not having to go exactly straight. It doesn't matter, okay? Just come around slowly. And I did start off the border and off the tile. And this is going to be our last one. Okay, so now we're going to aura this whole thing. And I'll be turning my tile as needed. I'll come around this way, and around all of it, back in. Okay. I got a little bit close right there, but it's okay. By the time we get finished, it's not gonna matter. And I am taking my time. I don't speed up my videos, so if this is slow for you, you can use the YouTube controls to speed it up. And also, if I happen to go too fast, you can slow it down. Also, don't put music in the background, because when I try to listen to a tutorial, it's too distracting. Okay, so we're just going around slowly, putting an aura, excuse me, around the whole thing. And I tell you about this pattern as far as just letting you know that sometimes even the CZTs struggle with some of these patterns. Okay. And as I'm doing this, I really have to concentrate on this aura. So I'm not talking much. For those of you who know that I'm in the Houston area, and there have been, well, first there was some flooding, and that was north of us, so that didn't affect my town at all. I'm actually about halfway between Houston and Galveston. I'm south of Houston. Anyway, the floods did not affect us. And then there was a storm with heavy winds in downtown Houston that broke out office building windows and tore down electrical lines. And some people just now, after a week, have their power back. But for everyone who checked in on me, I really appreciate your concern. All right. Okay, so there we have Opus. And the next thing we're going to do is put these orbs inside. And I think I'm too critical of myself with orbs, is maybe one of the reasons that this is not necessarily one that I do well with. I don't want to say I hate it, but I struggle with it. That's the word. Okay, so we're doing these orbs, and then I'm kind of filling in these extra spaces. And your orbs don't have to be little. And I say orb because it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And on these edges, you can have it go underneath. Okay, so I think I'm just making it worse. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just going to kind of round these out a little bit. All right. Excuse me. So I'm just going to go up through this. This is where you are welcome to fast forward because it takes me a while to get these in. And I am focusing on doing these just on the inside, okay? I'm not coming out all the way because we're going to put Mysteria over here. Okay, so again, make these as large or small as you'd like. And then fill in these little areas. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill that one in. And when you do that, it gives you a chance to kind of fix your orbs if you need to. And put a little one there. Okay, and then go back and fill in your little spaces. Yeah, this is definitely one that is good to watch first and then practice. I practiced this one several times. Just keep coming in this inner aura that we made. And then fill in the little spaces. But again, we're not coming out. And I think I forgot to mention when we get to Mysteria that that one is not a published pattern. And that just means that the step outs are only in the book that CZTs get. Although someone can make the step outs and publish them, but it's a really easy pattern, so you'll be able to follow along. It reminds me a lot of Squid. Okay, I will quit talking and try to get through this section. I've had some people give me ideas on how to put my notebook together to show all of these. And I want to put Zentangle on the cover. And it was suggested that I glue some cardstock or something on there and then draw. So glue that on the front, and that's probably what I'm going to do. Again, as you come back and fill in these little spaces, if you need to, you can fix your orbs, which I often need that opportunity to fix mine. but it doesn't matter. When you get all this together and then try to go back and find where you thought you had a mistake, generally you can't find it. Okay, I'm going to do a big orb here. How about that? Big one, little. Fill in your little spaces. And again, we're not looking for perfect circles. All right, we're almost there. And I kind of went inside of that aura when I should have, but no mistakes, right? Let's just do a big orb here, and maybe a little one there. Fill in our spaces. I want you to notice that my lines are not perfect. And I am perfectly fine with that. Okay, let's go ahead and bring this all the way down. Okay. So there we have Opus. And I meant to make more room over here, but I didn't do it. But we're going to do this anyway. We're going to do Mysteria now. And let me put this here so you can kind of get an idea of what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more orbs in here. And since I didn't leave myself much room, this section's also going to go off the tile. So Mysteria has these little wispy ribbons or bands. I'll turn this over. And so I'm just making these curvy lines and then coming back down and connecting it again. Okay. And like you have it here, it can fill in any space. And let me show you how I have it on this tile. Okay. So there it is, filling a triangle. So we're just adding these wispy lines. One can go under and behind and back around. Have one come this way. This one's going under. Okay, just kind of play around with it and see where you would like to have your little, almost like seaweed. Like I said, it almost looks like an underwater scene. Okay, I'm going to have another one of these come under here. Okay. So, like I said, you can use that pattern to fill in any kind of space, but I'm using it just here next to Opus. And now I'm adding more orbs. But this time I'm not going to add the dark, okay? I'm not going to fill in those spots. And you can have You can fill all these in if you want. I think I'm just going to fill in this section here next to Opus. Okay. I think I'm going to have one come this way. Okay, just so I have a place to put these. Okay, let's put some in here. Just take your time, make them various size on these little orbs. Make them big. You can make them tiny. Okay. All right. And where we have this open area, let's just have some of these little orbs escaping. So that's just another, well, what if? What if they're escaping? Okay, so here we have Opus and Mysteria. And now we're going to do Verdigogh. Okay, this is another one. I think the reason these three patterns I've waited until the end is because I'm very critical of myself, okay? And that's why I say it's not a love-hate with the pattern, it's a love-hate with how I look at my results, okay? So I have a note somewhere that says, just go with it. You know, don't worry so much about how it's going to look. So I'm asking you that same thing. Just relax and enjoy Opus. I'm sorry, Verdigogh. So this one's Verdigogh. This is the way that it's done in the step outs and mostly what you see. Okay. And for the I would just call these leaves. For these leaves, I've seen them done like this. So you have your little spine coming up. I have it on the screen. And I've seen them done very square on the end, okay? Or more wispy, like that, okay? And that's the way I like it. It's a little bit more wispy, okay? So we're going to come up the sides of our stem and let's just do these easy flowing long leaves. And like I said, you can make yours a little bit more like that, or like I showed you on the back of this. Okay? I'm going to come over to this side and do the same thing. And then as you get up to the top, a little bit shorter. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is have my leaves go back this way. And I meant to bring in a piece of rosemary. So if you ever look at a photo of a rosemary twig, then it's easy to see that that's kind of what we're doing here. It's just leaves going in different directions. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Have this come around, and it's going to go behind this one. Same thing here. Okay. And then another one here. And you can keep adding as many of these as you would like. So now I'm going to come over here and put another one behind here. I could have another one come out and go behind Opus. I have some space here, so I'm going to come out. Don't overthink it. Just put something there to fill in the little spaces that you have. Okay? Same thing over here. Let's start back here. Bring this one out. Just remember to lift your pen so that you're going under that other line. I'm going to start this one here, go behind, come back. I've got some space here. We've got one here that we could come behind and let it curve. Okay. Again, try to not overthink it, like I'm doing. Okay. So, there we have the basic version of Verdigogh, like this. Okay? Another way that you can do it, and I'm going to have this one come out this way. Come up. And back down. And we're going to do actual kind of long leaves. Okay? And you can do the outside first. Okay, let me do it this way. This is the way I've seen them do it. So, a line, and then just a C curve on each side. As you go up the stem, make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, I do better if I do the center line first. And take your time. I didn't take my time on that one. if there are patterns that you struggle with, then practice on scrap paper. I do that a lot. I look at what other people have done, and then I try it mostly on scrap paper. Okay, so I did these pointing that way and that way. Now I'm going under. And I like how this one looks when you're done with it. And all of these patterns on this tile take focus, okay? So yeah, I guess I would call these high focus patterns. Okay, so now I'm going to go opposite direction on this side. I'm not going to see much of that one. Okay, let's do one here. These are a little bit smaller on the top. Okay, so wherever you have some spaces, let's just add another little leaf. And they don't have to point in a particular direction. You can have another one coming under. Let's see, let's put some on this side. And you're going behind some of these, so you may not see all of your lines, and it may get a little bit crowded, but it's okay. Let's have a little one in here. And another little one on top. Okay, so 2 versions of Verdigogh, and now I'm going to show you a third Verdigogh. This one they called Evolved. I'm just going to show you from my sketchbook. Okay, this one's called Evolved. This one is Spiraling Verdigogh, and this one's the original Verdigogh. So this is what it looks like in my sketchbook. Okay. So for the Spiraling Verdigogh, and I don't remember, it was first shown, I think, in one of the project packs. Okay, so we're going to do our little stem. And then I think I'm going to start a little bit higher on this one. Come around. So this one has, it looks almost like printemps, okay? And then we're going to add weighting on the side. Okay, let's come up again. And I'm going to have this one touch, come in and around, put our little fescue tip on there, and then weighting. Another one here. And I'm having to get smaller as I go up the stem. Okay. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on this side. It's going to go behind and come out. Looking kind of odd. It's okay. And didn't quite line that up, but that'll be okay. So it's going behind those leaves. Here's our next one. Add our weighting. Another one here. Okay. Didn't reduce the size on that one very well, did I? Sorry. It's not a contest. We're not being graded. My problem is I want my tile to look perfect for you. When I tell you, don't worry about being perfect. Okay, so come back, make little touch-ups as needed. I've been doing the Be Well 2024 3Z tiles, and that's been fun. Okay, so I'm not going to put them behind here. I'm just going to let it be up a little bit taller. All right, let's do our shading. So I am going to put graphite just along the outside of this. Okay, as if Opus is floating here. And this is one of my favorite ways to shade. It's simple, but it has a nice effect. Just stay on the outside of your aura here. And then we'll bring this down. Okay, let's do this side. So it is almost the end of May, which means summer is almost here. And I babysit my grandkids. And so it's going to be busy. But that's okay. I'm happy to be able to help. Okay, so now we're just going to soften that. And just very softly pull it down a little bit So I'm pushing it into the paper, but then I'm pulling down softly below that because I want the darkest part to be right next to the opus. Okay. Just keep bringing that around. Keep turning your tile. Keep your hand comfortable. Deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Relax your hand. Okay? And I think we're just going to leave this. We'll come back to it. Okay. For the Verdigogh, one of the ways I've seen it shaded that's super simple but effective is to just put graphite up one side and then soften it. Okay? And we're going to do the same thing on each of these. So it's just a shadow. And then soften it. And since we're doing the same thing on each of these, I think it has a nice effect. If you prefer, you could come back, you know, just like we do with hollow ball, and put shadow as needed on each of these leaves. But let's keep it simple. Okay. I do think that's a lot of graphite on the top. So one of the things you can do with a kneaded eraser, see, it's nice and soft, and you knead it like kneading bread, okay? And then you can use it to just lightly pull up some graphite as needed. Can you tell the difference? Okay. And after you do that, just go back and very lightly soften that again. Yeah, I think that looks better. I wanted it darker down here. Okay. And here's my 01 again. I think we're going to have some bubbles escaping again. So there's one here. Just have fun with it. How's that? Okay. Again, I think I did a little bit better in my sketchbook, and that's because I go nice and slow and I want it to look perfect. And then for my video, I especially want it to look perfect. And it's okay that it's not. There are no mistakes. Just have fun with it, okay? So there's my practice, our tile. And we did Verdigogh, Mysteria, and Opus. And I hope you enjoyed that. Yes, I'm too critical, but I appreciate all of you and the kindness that you show me and the encouragement and that you keep coming back. I appreciate that. If you've enjoyed this, please hit the like button, subscribe, come back again, and one more video. For that video, I am going to do Man Oh Man, Quabog, and Ah. And this can look like snowflakes, or it can look like fireworks. For me, it's going to be fireworks because it's the last 33 videos. Can you believe it? Thank you again. Come back next time. I'll see you. Bye.